Saat Farkı'ndan merhabalar. Dünyayı Ekotürk ekranında buluşturuyoruz bu programda. Bu hafta bayram vesilesiyle çok özel bir konuğumuz var. Aslında ikili ilişkilerde de bayram havası yaşadığımız bir ülke Japonya. Malum Türkiye-Japonya diplomatik ilişkilerinin 100. yıl dönümü bu yıl. 2024 yılı iki ülke arasındaki ilişkilerin 100. yılı kutlanıyor. Türkiye genelinde de çok sayıda kültürel etkinlik düzenleniyor bu yıl. Japonya'da da aynı şekilde. Biraz bunun detaylarını konuşacağız. İkili ilişkilerin tarihini konuşacağız. Kiminle? Japonya'nın İstanbul Başkonsolosu Sayın Kenichi Kasahara ile birlikte şu anda Başkonsolos yanımızda. Merhabalar Sayın Başkonsolos, hoş geldiniz.
Hoş bulduk. Thank you for inviting me on this show.
Thank you very much for hosting us here in this beautiful building.
Well, this is basically a Turkish building, and that we are renting, and we're so happy to be in this community.
Thank you very much. Maybe in the end we can talk a little bit in English, in Turkish, sorry, but let's start with English.
Okay, or if you prefer Japanese, it's okay for me.
No, thank you.
Right.
And my Japanese is not very good, but maybe next time. I am planning a visit to Tokyo this summer, so maybe after that. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So, Mr. Consul General, I would like to talk about the bilateral relations. Of course, we are celebrating 100th year anniversary of the relations. But let's start with your personal history first. I think you started it was your first overseas duty in Istanbul back in 90s.
That is
so
correct.
This is your second post as Consul General. When was the first time in Istanbul for you? And after all those years, how is it now? How did you spot the difference?
Well, okay, thank you for asking. Because it's been coming back to my head every day. What the differences are and how the things are the same. My tentative answer to that question is some parts of Istanbul is so unchanged and the same, including the people and the food. The weather has been kind of slightly changed, I noticed. The summer is much hotter and winter is less rains these days, which is a problem for everyone. But especially what we call the old town, the Constantinople part of the Fatih the district remains the same. Yeah. And much of the Taksim area, the Beyoğlu is also the same, it seems to me. But everything else around those areas is so different, it's so new to me. But the people are the same, and the food is the same. So for me, for daily life, it's very pleasant to be back here again.
How many years you lived at that time back in 90s?
3 years.
3 years, and now it's been 2 years, I think, since
Yes.
So total 5 years.
5 years
Yeah. For now. How is it going? Do you enjoy Istanbul?
Oh yes, yes, finally. I mean, the first few months, 2 years ago, slightly felt the remains of the effects of the pandemic.
Yeah.
The step by step, everything came to normal, and now I can freely enjoy the daily life and the work with my colleagues at the consulate and my counterparts, and the government of the Turkey has been very friendly and very nice to work with.
Yeah, let's talk about bilateral relations, Mr. Consul General, because as I said, it's 100 years we are celebrating this year, 100 years of history of the bilateral relations. And Turkey and Japan has a very solid, unbreakable, let's say, history of friendship.
Never been challenged.
Yes, never been challenged, and I hope it will never be challenged. What are the factors behind this unbreakable relationships, historical perspective? What are the factors that are contributing to this unbreakable relationship, do you think? Could you give us a historical perspective on that?
Sure. Well, first of all, this is the 100th year, as you correctly pointed out, of the diplomatic relations. But the things between Japan and Turkey is not only limited to the diplomacy or diplomatic relations per se, because it all started when this Ottoman Navy frigate ship visited Japan named Ertuğrul. and tragically, it sank off the coast of prefecture of Japan called Wakayama, in the near the island, southern tip island of Kushimoto, and more than 650 some members were aboard, and only 69 of them survived. But it was in the middle of the night, in a storm, and the so sharp rocks in the sea, the so dangerous place. But the people, the village fishermen people came out and helped those strangers who never, those people, the villagers never spoke any foreign languages. I would imagine that most of the sailors on the boat would have never spoken any foreign language either. But they realized that there's a great need for help, so they did help and hospitalized those people in Kobe. And the then Japanese government sent their 2 naval ships to send those survivors back to Istanbul. Mm-hmm. So we have pictures of the Ertuğrul itself, and also the 2 navy ships of Japan, which brought those people back to Istanbul. And I understand that it made the front page of the all daily news in Turkey, the Ottoman Empire at the time, and everybody remembered it more than 100 years. So that Turkish airline helped Japanese passengers, more than 200 of them stranded in Tehran airport in 1985. That was 95 years after the Ertuğrul incident. So we, Japan and the Japanese people are so feel indebted to the fact that the Turkish people remembered what had happened 95 years ago. So that's more than 100 years. And I would say that this is the 100th year, but it has been more than 100 years, and it's going to be more than 100 years for our children and their children. So I think that's how we remember each other. And whenever the big deprem earthquakes happen, be it in Turkey or in Japan, we keep helping each other all the time. So I think that in that sense, it is the sense that we have in Japanese mind that we need to help Turkish because they helped us. Yeah. And it's amazingly, the Turkish people think the same way. I think that's the core reason why Japan and Turkey relation has been piling up on our friendship so many years.
I understand very well. Mr. Consul General, what are you planning, by the way, in terms of cultural activities? Do people, both sides, Turkish people and Japanese people, are aware of this historical fact? I'm sure many of them know this, but are you also doing some activities in both countries, in Turkey and Japan, yes, especially this year?
Yes, we have already done some several cultural events, including film showing. Once in Istanbul we did, and also in Izmir we did, and we have our embassy in Ankara, and they are responsible in the area including Ankara, Antalya, and the southeast Turkey. Mm-hmm. And so they have been active in those areas, and we have been planning not only in Istanbul or Izmir. We have a plan to do events in Bursa, and I just visited Yalova last week to attend the opening of the museum in Yalova that's related to bonsai, the tree planting culture that is derived from Japan, and they built a museum in Yalova. So I was honored to be there for the opening. So we have been doing, and we are doing more cultural activities. And more than that, it's not limited to the consulate's initiative. It's amazing that so many people and so many groups, like including universities or the private institutions, they volunteer to do some kind of event on their own. And so it's going to be more than we ever thought that would be realized.
What about in Japan, by the way? Any activities also for the year?
I'm sure the Turkish embassy in Tokyo, as well as you have consulates in several places in Japan, they have been doing their jobs to promote things. And there's also like a Japan-Turkey Friendship Association in Tokyo. I would believe the most members are Japanese living in Japan, but they have been trying to do many things, also doing seminars and giving Turkish language lessons and those things of activities in Japan.
Could you give us some information about, by the way, annual visitors, also residents, Japanese residents in Turkey, also businessmen, how many Japanese firms, businessmen residing in Turkey? Could you give us some insights on that?
According to the statistics, I believe there are a little bit less than 2,000 Japanese residents in whole Turkey.
Some of them are very famous, by the way, in Turkey, on social media especially. Some Japanese people, they speak brilliant Turkish, and some of them are very active on social media.
Right. Yes, and more than that, there are many Japanese living in this country and active on social media, but not necessarily in Turkish language. So you may not notice that we follow many of them. Some of them are cat lovers, and some of them are food lovers, and they are trying to promote the Turkish culture and the scenery to the Japanese audience in Japan.
Back in 90s, I think it was only Fatih Sultan Mehmet Bridge, but now this time, since you are back as the Consul General, we have a lot of, let's say, signature places such as Marmaray, Osman Gazi Köprüsü now, recently Başakşehir, Çam Sakura.
That's right.
So we have a lot of cooperation going on. Could you assess that also in recent years, especially the increasing cooperation between Turkey and Japan in different fields?
Yes. Yes. At this moment, as I said, there are almost 2,000 Japanese living here, and more than half of them are related to Japanese business, and their families are living here. And I think there are more than 250 Japanese companies and groups active in Turkey, and the number of the companies active in Turkey is increasing one by one. It's slowly but gradually it's growing. So I would imagine for the last 30 years there have been piling up of those relations between Japan and Turkey in terms of the economic activities. So I think that those projects that you have mentioned, including the Osman Gazi Köprüsü or Chamde Sakura Hastane, are the results of those activities of the Japanese companies and the businessmen here.
Do you use Marmaray frequently?
I would not say frequently, yes, but I did use it, and I have to confess that I used the what's it called, the bus, autobus, the
Metrobus.
Yes. I think it's handier from the place I live.
Okay. Mr. Consul General, I also wonder, there are a lot of things that I want to ask you actually. In Turkey, there is a great, I should use this word, I guess, there's a great admiration towards Japanese people. Probably you are also aware of that. How is the perception, perception towards Turkish people back in Japan? Also, are you aware of the perception of Japanese people in Turkey? How do you find it? Do you find it interesting? I don't know, just wonder your opinion on that.
Okay, I think I can safely say that there are two aspects in that issue. One is I think most Japanese feel like it's interested in the name Turkey and what they find time to time in the magazine or the TV programs that they see, basically travel, touristic point of view. So many people know what Cappadocia looks like, and that the fact that they can enjoy hot balloons when they visit. I think many people understand that Turkey is one of the best destinations to travel abroad. So I think, and these days baklava is kind of getting popular in Japan.
Oh, really?
And,
what is the reason why these days are getting popular?
There's one man in the baklava industry, the Turkish guy, who is quite interested in going to do business in Japan. And he has been going there many times. He's on SNS, and he's opinion both in Turkish and Japanese.
Japanese, wow.
Japanese.
I will check.
Yeah, so it's always those, the people who are crazy about going to be associated with the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And like the one that I just mentioned, the Japanese the couple living in Istanbul and so crazy about cats, so they're publishing their documents and pictures on SNS almost every day about cats, and people are aware that they should come to Istanbul to see the cats. So thanks to those people on both sides, more and more Japanese people are aware that Turkey is one of the best places to visit. That's one side of my opinion. The other is, but at the same time, Turkey and Japonya are so distant.
Yeah.
It takes 11, 12 hours flight.
And also very expensive tickets.
Yeah, at this moment, that is correct. I can't blame them. But from Japanese point of view, it's always distant to visit foreign countries, including United States, Europe, Australia. Everybody is so far away, except for China, Korea, and other island nations in the vicinity. But Europe is so far away from Japan. Yeah. And Turkey is almost the same distance from Japan. But from Turkey's side, it's so close to fly to Europe, Western Europe, from Istanbul. So it's hard for Turkish people to make up their minds to fly 11 hours to visit Japan, right?
But the only thing which is great is there's no visa, of course, between us. With European countries, we have, Schengen, but with Turkey and Japan, there's no visa, thanks to both countries.
Well, the same applies to us. We're free to come and to visit Turkey up to 3 months, I believe. Mm-hmm. So. But in a sense, we need to promote that Turkey is a better destination to visit for Japanese tourists, maybe than Europe or New York. Istanbul, I believe, is much more things to do, more things to eat, more nice people to meet.
Mr. Consul General, also, I think we should talk about deprem, as you said also. Unfortunately, you also had a devastating earthquake at the beginning of this year, and last year, February, we had a devastating earthquake. But of course, you are much prepared. As a country, Japan is renowned for its preparedness for earthquakes, major earthquakes. Do you think we, as Turkey, make use of your experience enough? Do we learn from Japanese experience? Because we discuss in Turkey a lot. We have also a lot of companies, Japanese people. Right. Do you think is there any cooperation in this field? I also saw in your room there is a earthquake risk map. Mm-hmm. So I think you're also very conscious about earthquake in Turkey and also in Istanbul. Also, do you feel safe in Istanbul? How ready is Istanbul, do you think, for a major earthquake? From a Japanese perspective, what do you think about Turkey and Istanbul's performance in this regard?
Well, I come across with that opinion many times in living in Istanbul, that Japan must be ready and Japan must be familiarized with the devastating incidents to happen, which which is not necessarily the truth. Because as you have correctly pointed out, we have come across with the major devastating earthquakes, maybe once in 10 years, I would imagine. But it's been only like 100 years since Japan and the Japanese government has been determined to do something to be prepared for the next big earthquake to happen. It was 1923 that coincides with the Turkish Republic. That was when the major earthquake hit Tokyo area, and they flattened everything at the time. So after that, only after that, Tokyo was reborn as a city with the preparedness of the wider road, so that people can run when they need, they can, or it's wider enough so that the fire would be stopped there. And but it was not enough to prevent other cities from devastation. So it happened in the year 1985, I believe, in Osaka, Kobe area, 1995. Until that time, not so many people were ready in that area. They thought the Tokyo area is prone to have more earthquakes, but many people believe that there's no risk in Osaka, Kobe area, so they're not prepared, I must say. But they learned the lesson, right? And then it happened in the 2011 in the northern part of Japan, in Tohoku area, which made us realize that there are tsunami risks.
Right.
Not so many people, I mean, there were casualties in the earthquake itself, but most of them perished in tsunami. And so now we learned a lesson, a new lesson there too. And then comes the 1st of January this year, which happened in the peninsula. So we had come across with another hardship that you cannot reach to help those people in the mountainous village because it's so mountainous. You can't use helicopters. You can't use even the ship because the seashore is so steep, and you need, you cannot mobilize the industrial equipments other than the military. Only the military forces could reach there. So it's been taking time. So we're still learning lessons that we have not realized, right? So probably what the Turkey can learn from our experiences that you cannot experience enough, never. Because you have to keep piling up your knowledge on your knowledge, and you have to give the knowledge, information to your next generation, which is a very hard thing to do. So we are still learning lessons, and we are very happy to share those lessons to everyone, including Turkey.
I mean, is there an ongoing cooperation in this field?
Oh yes, yes. Especially in the field of the scholars, the professors, they keep going and coming whenever things happen. And there are resident seismologists in Gebze area, I believe, at one of the universities there, and doing the research on the Marmara Fault. So yes, things are going, and we are going to have a Turk-Japan Science and Technology University is going to be opened this year.
Right.
And one of the main pillars of studies is the not necessarily earthquake itself, but the natural disaster and its prevention technology.
Are you afraid of major Istanbul earthquake here, especially? I mean, maybe If you
Well-
are in Japan, you wouldn't be that afraid
Mhm.
because you are more prepared. But what about here? Are you sometimes thinking about that? Are you worrying about expected major earthquake in Istanbul? Because a lot of scientists, they expect a major earthquake maybe
Right.
in next 10 years or even earlier.
Well, there's an old saying in Asia that some people in the ancient remote village, they were so afraid that one day the sky will crumble and they'll be destroyed. And so they kept looking up all day long, and they didn't know no farming, and the village went to disaster, right? So that gives you the lesson that, well, it's okay to look up to the sky and worry about it to crumble on you, but sometimes you have to forget about it and do your own business so that you can go back to worrying, So it's a balance that you need.
Right.
So yes, in a sense, I may be afraid of major earthquake, but being afraid would not do any good for you.
Yeah, of course.
So
Of
all
course.
you can do is to get prepared as much as you can. So in my office, my consulate, conducting we convene in a room, and we do kind of practice, assuming that there is an earthquake. The last time was like in the Aegean area, so we suppose that there's a major earthquake. So you would do this, you would contact those people and start making a list of things that we should do, and that kind of practice we are going to do at least twice a year.
Your Excellency, now we are celebrating Eid as this program is airing. And probably you are familiar with traditions, also some religious Bayrams, we call it Bayram. Do you also have similar events or Bayrams, celebrations in Japan? And how do you find these two countries similar or different from each other, like in a cultural sense? And how do you usually spend your holidays in Turkey? Do you travel? Do you go out Istanbul?
That's interesting. I feel it interesting because, of course, I understand the Bayram, this coming up Bayram is a religious one. And in Japan, most people are not they don't look like they are religious, but basically what lies under our spiritual way of thinking is that we feel more close to the nature, and probably I would say we are afraid of the nature because Japan has been under the pressure of the natural disasters more than Turkey. We talked about the deprem, but we have typhoons, which are basically the cyclones and the storms. Of course, Turkey has long sea coast, but both Black Sea, the Aegean Seas, and the Mediterranean Seas are not the ocean, right? But we are facing the half the size of the whole global water body, and it can cause a huge storm. More than 10 of them a year, every year.
So nature is not always nice to you,
Exactly. So Japanese people and its culture are more based with natural incidents. So in that sense, like we have holidays every year for the summer solstice. How's that called? Basically, it's the Nevruz.
Okay. Yeah.
The 21st of March, and in autumn also, basically the 21st, 22nd of September. It's a national holiday in Japan also. So we celebrate those kind of seasonal holidays. In Japan, the New Year, the 1st of January, is the biggest holiday. So governments are closed for the previous 3 days, the last 3 days of December and first 3 days of January. So every year we have 6 days in straight. So that's the largest chunk. And in coming up days of the first week of May, we happen to have several national holidays in Spain. So many people take the whole week off, and it's a nice season to go around. So maybe people plan to go abroad also. So for me, this coming up Bayram, I'm planning to go abroad for the first time for fun from Turkey. The last time I was here for 3 years in the 90s, I told my wife that okay, we will stay in Turkey because there are so many things to find in Turkey, and it's a waste of time to go abroad without seeing Turkey before.
Did you see
everything.
most of Turkey, most of the towns in Turkey?
Well, I wanted to, but I have not made it to the southeast, the region yet. So I'd love to do it.
Where do you want to go most in Turkey? Is there a place that you want to go, visit, see?
Well,
You
many
haven't done yet?
places. Yeah, definitely the Göbekli Tepe.
Göbekli Tepe,
I would like to see in Şanlıurfa, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Consul General, thank you very much, but please let me talk to you in Turkish a little bit, at least. Maybe you can you can say a few words for Bayram celebration. Türkçe öğreniyor musunuz? Çalışıyor musunuz? Dizi izliyor musunuz? Are you watching any Turkish movies or dramas on TV to practice your Turkish? Türkçe öğrenmeye devam ediyor musunuz burada?
The last time I was here, I tried to read, and I actually went to some Turkish courses. So I made it to the Orta 2.
Orta 2. Okay.
At the Tömer.
Okay, not bad.
No, it's not good enough. I mean, when I go to restaurant, I can order.
Sipariş verebiliyorsunuz.
Evet,
Aha,
evet.
evet.
Ama o kadar.
O kadar.
O kadar,
En
evet,
sevdiğiniz
evet.
yemek ne Türkiye'de? En sevdiğiniz yemek? Kebap, döner, kumpir.
Kokoreç.
Kokoreç, gerçekten mi?
And the sweets.
Kokoreç mi, sushi mi? Which one you prefer? Sushi mi?
Kokoreç. Actually, I ate kokoreç yesterday for
Öyle
my
mi?
lunch. Yes.
Oo, çok
Yeah,
güzel. Başka?
yeah.
Sevdiğiniz bir şey, yemek?
Şey var. Kuzu pirzola.
Kuzu pirzola. Ben de
Aha.
çok severim. Ben Adanalıyım bu arada. Sayın Başkonsolos.
Okay.
Adana kebap biliyorsunuz
Aha.
çok meşhur. Adana kebap
Evet.
sever misiniz?
Acılı, evet.
Acılı
Evet,
tabii
evet,
ki.
Evet.
Evet.
Tabii ki, evet.
Adana'ya gittiniz mi?
Adana'ya gittim, gördüm, evet.
Kebap yediniz.
Evet. I think so. Evet.
Peki, bayram mesajı vermek ister misiniz Türkçe?
Herkese bayramınız kutlu olsun dilerim. That's my message from me and from the government of Japan and the whole people of Japan. Bayramınız kutlu olsun.
Çok teşekkür ederim. Shall I say arigato?
Oh yeah, çok güzel.
Çok teşekkür ederim Sayın Başkonsolos. Thank you very much. It's an
Ben de.
honor for me to meet you, to talk to you.
Thank you.
Hopefully,
Ben de teşekkür
next
ederim.
time maybe we will meet in Tokyo. When I
Sure.
visit Tokyo.
All right.
Çok teşekkür ediyorum.
İyi yolculuklar.
Çok sağ olun. Japonya'nın İstanbul Başkonsolosu ile konuştuk. İkili ilişkileri konuştuk Türkiye-Japonya arasında. Bu yıl özellikle 100. yılı kutlanan diplomatik ilişkilerin tesisini konuştuk iki ülke arasındaki. Kültürel benzerlikleri, farklılıkları konuştuk. Tabii depremi konuştuk. İki ülkenin de mağdur olduğu deprem konusunu konuştuk. Tekrar farklı bir konuyla, farklı bir konukla saat farkında karşınızda olmak dileğiyle herkese iyi bayramlar diliyoruz. Hoşça kalın.